Now, by way of introduction, we're happy to have on the show Paul. Is it Goddard?
Yeah,
Okay, I got it right. Now, you're a migration planner.
yeah.
Let's see, immigration planner,
The
licensed.
reason, what's the difference? I'm actually a fully licensed immigration advisor. So I'm
Uh-huh.
what you might know as an immigration agent or something like that. So in New Zealand, we have to basically go through a licensing process every single year. So we
Okay.
have a licensing body here called the IAA, and uh, we have to show applications that we've made and explain them and show what we've done. We have to, answer lots of questions and go through this whole quite rigorous process and pay quite a large fee every year to keep renewing our license and
Yeah,
abide by the rules. So
sounds
I've been
familiar.
yep.
Now, Matthew and I are trying to get our ducks in a row. We're preparing for a
Mm,
potential Donald Trump presidency, and Americans like to say that they'll move to Canada if they get a president they don't like.
mm,
But we don't want to leave any stone unturned. So, real quick,
yeah.
try and sell us on New Zealand. Why should we choose New Zealand?
New Zealand is basically here for its laid back lifestyle. The weather isn't too hot, isn't too cold, so it's a very temperate climate, sort of like the south of France, if you like. 4.5 million people, stunning scenery, good economy, strong economy, grown by 3% this year. So lots of jobs available, and but it's the lifestyle. That's the reason people make the move. Salaries are not as good as the US in general. People you moving from the US will be on a lower salary in New Zealand, but the cost of living is different, and so the salary allows people to have a good lifestyle here.
Now, when it comes to immigration in New Zealand, what kinds of debates or discussions happen in the political arena?
Nothing really in the politically. We don't get many issues at all because New Zealand has a system where it's very clear. What New Zealand is saying to people who want to move to New Zealand is, are you skilled? In other words, do you have a skill that is on our list of skilled occupations? Because these are the skills that we are short of people for in New Zealand. If you've got that skill and you can prove it, and you can speak English, and you've got no criminal convictions, no major health issues, then fantastic. What you will also need is a job offer that matches those skills and experience. So if you can get a job that matches those skills, we will let you into New Zealand. If you can't, we won't. So we don't really get any sort of political footballs kicked around, if you like, around this because everyone in New Zealand pretty much knows that if you're moving to New Zealand, you are moving to New Zealand with a job offer to go to. You are skilled. You are going to be adding to the economy, not taking away from it. So no one really complains.
So for your immigration policy, do you guys go with a wall around your country or just barriers? Like, I
Just
mean,
barriers.
what just barriers, just or like
Yeah, the
maybe like
barrier.
like
Well, it's easy for
Yeah,
you guys to not have a contentious debate because Mother Nature built your wall, basically, right?
exactly, exactly. And the wall, if you like, is the job offer. I mean, that is the key to making a move to New Zealand for 99% of people who want to move. It's a job offer. If you don't get the job offer, you don't move.
All right.
now what's the job prospects for say a U.S. immigration attorney whose only skill is U.S. immigration law?
The job, that's a good question.
Yep.
Lawyers, attorneys, and things like that. Yes, it is. It is a skilled occupation, obviously, and it is a skilled occupation that's identified in New Zealand. The difficulty will be they're looking for people who understand New Zealand law, not US law. So, if a US lawyer or attorney wanted to move here, as long as they could show an understanding of New Zealand law and get a job doing that over here, the fact that you've got US background as well would be an advantage for somebody who wanted to tie in with both countries. But it is something that can happen. But generally, what New Zealand is looking for are construction people, engineers, health professionals, nurses, doctors. The usual side of things. But we do get a little bit random, and we need bakers and hairdressers and things like that as well.
So, okay, hairdressers. I could do that,
Yeah,
I think.
hairdressers. Yeah.
Do you have any kind of, are there
I like
any,
bacon.
um, I like brewing homebrew craft beers, but that's not gonna that wouldn't have got me in, unfortunately.
So, okay, that gives us an idea of what kind of jobs people can get. Let's see. All right, what about like a 4-year visa for people fleeing terrible presidents? Is there like such a thing? I don't have a job
Yes,
offer. I
we
don't have a
we
job
do have
offer.
refugee status. I mean, there has been some talk of here of should we offer Americans refugee status if Trump gets in. Who knows? Who knows? It may actually happen with some of the policies that he's talking about.
Right.
But you know, no, immigration into New Zealand is very, very clear. It is literally, are you skilled? Can you get a job offer that matches those skills?
Okay,
Well,
so
let me ask you kind of a serious question that maybe most of our listeners are immigration attorneys, and when I say most, I mean the 2 or 3 that listen.
Yeah.
They practice immigration law.
Yeah.
What about if someone is here in the United States, they've lived here multiple years unlawfully, but they have a skill? Would they be able to immigrate to New Zealand with or have an unlawful presence or unlawful? They would not.
No, no, generally not. No, the rule. I mean, one of the questions that's asked is, have you ever been illegal or deported or whatever? So, if it became apparent to New Zealand immigration that they had been illegal, then nah, game over, basically.
okay, so now let's say Matthew gets a job offer as a hairdresser,
Could happen.
and he shows
Yeah.
up, and they're like, "This guy sucks," basically.
Yeah.
And he loses his job. In
Yeah.
other words, how do you go? What's the process like from going as what we would call a non-immigrant or somebody who's on
Yeah.
a work visa to now I get to stay?
Yeah, get residence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a similar system where you initially come out on a temporary work visa, and that work visa will be usually granted for 12 months. So you get the job offer, the work visa gets issued quickly, and you take the job. What you do at that point is you lodge your residence at the same time, straight away, and your residence will usually take about 6 months to come through. As soon as your residence is through, if you lose your job and you've got residence, you can stay in the country, that's fine. If you lose your job before you've applied for residence or before the residence comes through, then yes, you lose all the visas. You're given, there isn't a set time frame, an official one, but generally about 3 or 4 weeks to find another employer to hire you. And if you don't, you've got to leave the country.
So you're saying if I can get a job doing construction, I mean, I did some stuff like in my garage growing up with my dad building stuff, but I don't have any construction experience. Does that mean I can't get a job doing construction?
No, no. The job offer that you get needs to match your skills and experience. So you have to prove those skills and experience. So in other words, if the requirement, for example, for a carpenter, requirement for a carpenter is 3 years provable work experience to get residence. So you would need a reference from an employer showing that you have got 3 years work experience as a carpenter. If you haven't got that, you can't apply for residence until you have.
Okay.
How about for people who do podcasts? Is that a big market there? Like a big need?
It's a growing thing.
Yeah.
Is it a skill?
Well, clearly not.
Yeah, that's debatable. No. But certainly, on a serious note, social media and social marketing and stuff like that. I mean, skills in digital marketing and those sorts of roles, yes, they are increasingly sought after skills over here. I've just placed somebody in doing that. Interestingly, the people from the America that I've placed so far, a NASA scientist is one that we've just signed up yesterday. He's pretty good. The other one was I spoke to Stevie Wonder's sound engineer the other day. He's obviously from the States. He's got a recording studio over here in Christchurch that he's
Stevie
been.
Wonder's not blind. It's a big,
That's the
it's a big
conspiracy
yeah,
theory.
It's a big hoax.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Google it.
We
Google
we
it.
don't need to get into that right now.
Yeah. So I mean, look, we get various skills from the US. Lots of welders and stuff like that as well. But
Okay,
it's the same policy wherever you are in the world. New Zealand has the same policy, whoever you are.
One last question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say I come to visit. I want to see all the Lord of the Rings sites, and let's say I just kind of forget to leave. and then I maybe get a job. I don't know. What's a low skill job that I could find in New Zealand as a person
Oh,
without papers?
yeah, we do have temporary sort of visas for low skilled jobs, like seasonal jobs, like fruit picking, for
Okay.
example. If you came in the summer and we need strawberries or kiwi fruit or whatever picking, then people can get temporary, 6, 12 month visas doing that. If people are young, unfortunately not like me, if they're under 30, then there's what we call working holiday visas, which can be issued for 12 months or 2 years and basically allow you to do anything during that time. So there are provisions for those sorts of things. If you came here and as a visitor and just disappeared and became illegal, then the chances are they'll find you because New Zealand's very small.
Oh, okay.
And so now I'm not very skilled, but my wife does have more marketable skills than I do. If she got a job in New Zealand, can I come with her, or would I get to stay here?
Yes,
I mean, would
yes.
I unfortunately be left behind?
No, you can. We do basically with partnership. The good news is you don't have to actually be married. You
Whoa.
have to prove that you have lived with the person for 12 months or more. And if you have lived with a person for 12 months or more, then basically you are included in their application. And if they get a visa, you get a visa, and you can do whatever you want to do when you get here. There is another side of things. If you came here on holiday and you started a relationship with a New Zealander, obviously your wife wouldn't be very happy. but
That's debatable.
She might be
but if
thrilled.
you did, and as soon as you could prove even just a little bit of evidence of that relationship, as soon as you could prove that the relationship was ongoing, then the New Zealander can potentially sponsor you as a partner, even if you haven't quite lived together for 12 months or more, and get you what we call an open work visa. In other words, a work visa that doesn't need a job offer attached to it, and they'll give you a 12-month visa for you to come to New Zealand, live with your girlfriend or partner, and basically once you've lived with them for 12 months, then apply for residence.
Dude,
That's crazy.
that's
You should see what we have to go through here.
you're blowing our minds over here, I have to say.
So
This is
people,
it. This is why I want. Yeah.
people who want to flee Trump, just go to New Zealand,
Get a girlfriend.
wear some cologne, dress up nice,
Yeah.
be engaging, and get
Yeah.
a date.
Get
And
a
then
date.
it
Yeah,
sounds
get
like
a-
you can stay.
Yeah, get on the New Zealand Tinder app or whatever it is, and start looking around.
All right. Now, for all those who are interested in fleeing the United States, how can they get a hold of you if they're interested in
Website is the easiest way. Migrationplanners.com is our website. You can contact me on there, or my email address, paul.goddard@migrationplanners.com is the easiest way to do it, and more than happy to do that. I do come over to the States most years, usually on my way back from expos and seminars in the UK. But I am looking at hopefully doing some seminars in the US, because I think there's a lot of interest in the US, and it's not necessarily to sign people up for visa services, but just seminars to tell people how it works,
Right.
and just to sow that seed. And I think there'll be quite a quite a lot of interest, especially if Trump gets in, God forbid.
Yeah, there you go. Well, next time you're on this side of the pond, let us know. We'll
Yeah, we'll do.
hook you up with the immigration. Matthew and I are super popular over here, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
we'll put you in touch with some people. All right. Great talking
Awesome.
to you.
No, thanks guys. It was awesome talking to you.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
So, Matthew, how about
So
that?
clearly, well, okay. So you just go there and you get a date.
It's awesome.
Like, yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Can you imagine if here all you had to have was a girlfriend and then you just got a 1-year work permit?
Yeah, and and you can work wherever. Yeah, wherever. Go ahead.
I don't know. Well, it's at the top of my list. It's the first interview we've done, but I think it's going right up there at number 1.
Yeah.
All I need-
I don't know a lot about it.
All I need now is a skill.
You don't even need a skill, right? You just need a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Some sort of friend.
Friend.
Wouldn't it be
You need a
cool?
friend that wants to hang out.
Wouldn't it be cool if they had an actual friend visa? Just like,
It sounds like they do.
basically.
Like if you were in New Zealand and I went over there and be like, hey, you want to do a podcast? Like you could have probably like if you were in New Zealand, you could probably petition for me.
We should have asked if it applies to same gender partners. And
He said partners.
right. So,
He said girlfriend or partner. So I think that's what he meant.
but I'm assuming they mean partner with a romantic context, right? I mean, it's not just
I would hope. Well, I don't know.
he's my bro and
You know what? When he comes to the U.S.,
Calling
our
him back.
listeners will have to go to his seminar.
there you go.
Fine. We can't ask all the questions. We can't get all the answers.
I know, even though this is a skill.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you later, Matthew.
Good night.